Alrighty, so this is just We the People news. Maybe I had to adjust this a little bit more here in a little bit. We'll just see what happens. All right. Uh, First of all, we're going to have to get this cleared up. I'm not an attorney. I'm not giving legal advice. Okay, this is educational purposes only. All right. This is for my behalf to be able to go back to my records and storage to remind myself of certain things that I may or may not done, okay, or researched on YouTube itself. Okay, a lot of things I do on the YouTube, a lot of times I actually go back and research it on my own. Then I have to go look through the definition of words and this, that, here, and there. Neither here or there. May make it a couple of videos because this is actually 24 minutes on plus of me talking. But this is Smart Lock TV, LOC TV. Okay, and he's got some really good information, and this is one of them. All right, so don't be shy. Go subscribe. Okay, to him. He's got really good information out there. All righty, let's attorney versus counsel. My previous videos I talked about, counsels are different than attorneys. He's going to be looking up, well, this case law here, and they're going to be running back and forth, which I thought was interesting, right? Because to my kids and to my wife and to my grandkids and all that, I'm their counsel through life, y'all. I teach them how to be productive and honorable men and women as they're proceeding in their life from the time they're born until the time I'm gone, right? But I counsel them, okay? And other times they may end up finding things out that I don't know, and they turn around and counsel me as well. But they don't speak on my behalf, and I do not speak on their behalf. That's what attorney is. Attorney is to go in there and speak for you. Counsel is to help you, guide you through the process. Okay? And this is where we're getting a lot of confusion at. And this is up to y'all to look up this case and really kind of clarify it, just like he says. All right, this is taking too long. Let's go ahead and go.
Right into this. I was doing some research on for remedies at law, and out of nowhere, I just saw this case, which is it's really unrelated. But this is an Alaska case, and in this case, they are providing you with the distinctions between a counselor and an attorney. So I'm basically what I'm trying to say is I think lawyer would not be a correct term to this, to distinguish from an attorney based on this case. But y'all want to know what's so funny about this, man? This is gonna be a long video. It's not gonna be too long, but it's gonna be long. The fact that you have to go and do all of this research just to find out the definition for one word with these people is crazy. Let me go ahead and start this video. I don't want to bore y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and read some of it. There's the I don't know if I showed y'all the case citation. That's the case citation right there, so y'all can go and look it up. This guy, he made a pretty good argument, if you ask me. But anyway, petitioner, I'm gonna call him Crane, is currently charged with driving under the influence. And I'm not gonna read any of these statutes, nothing like that, unless I have to. And refusal to take a breath test. As he is waiting trial in the district court, in his petition, Crane asserts correctly that he is entitled to the assistance of counsel in defending himself against these charges. But Crane insists that he cannot obtain the assistance of counsel because there are no counselors at law in Alaska. I wonder if he did this by himself. This is very interesting, y'all. Now, I'm not, like, when I first started reading this, I thought they were going to just start obfuscating and just calling this man crazy and saying this is sovereign citizen BS and all that. I really thought they was going to do that, but they didn't even do that. They actually dug down and did the research, and they provided you with the research in this case. Crane contends that there is a legal distinction between counselors at law and attorneys, and that there are no counselors at law in Alaska because the Alaska Bar Association and the Alaska Supreme Court only license attorneys. Crane further asserts that because he is unable to obtain the assistance of a counselor at law, the courts of Alaska have no jurisdiction over him, and he's citing this case in support of his authority because they can't try you without an attorney unless you knowingly, let me rephrase that, I'm going to stop using that word. They can't try you without counsel unless you knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily waive that right. They have no jurisdiction over you, and when they do that, they violate due process, and you can get a trial de novo. You can get a whole new trial when they do that, just to let y'all know. Holding that a deprivation of the right to counsel is equivalent to lack of jurisdiction. It's a jurisdictional prerequisite. In order for them to have jurisdiction over you, they need you to have a counsel. You need to have counsel in order for them to have jurisdiction over you. That's why they're always trying to appoint you one of their counselors, so to speak. But anyway, I don't call them counselors, they're attorneys. Back to the case. In the alternative, even assuming that the attorneys properly licensed by the Alaska Bar Association and the Alaska Supreme Court qualifies as counselors at law, Crane argues that the Bar Association and the Supreme Court lost their power to license attorneys in 1976. Crane bases his argument on the fact that in 1976, the Alaska legislature repealed a statute that specified the procedure for admission to the practice of law and failed to enact an equivalent statute in its place. As we explain here, the common law did, in fact, distinguish between attorneys and counselors at law. Y'all see that? Crazy, right? Crazy. It's going to get good, y'all. But this distinction no longer exists under Alaska law. Instead, attorneys perform both functions. So what were the differences in the functions? They're going to discuss them. We therefore reject Crane's assertion that there are no counselors at law in Alaska. Let me go back up. And it is true that in 1976, the legislature repealed the statute that specified the procedure for admissions to practice of law in this state. Notice that, you see that? Notice the word state is lowercase. However, in the same 1976 session, the legislature gave rulemaking authority to the Board of Governors of the Alaska. That's an administrative agency. So what they did was they delegated their legislative authority, which they had no authority to do that because that power does not ultimately belong to them. It belongs to the people. So I think that was an unlawful delegation of authority, of legislative authority. But anyway, the legislature gave rulemaking authority to the Board of Governors of the Alaska Bar Association so that the admission procedure could be specified by court rule, which has been done. We therefore conclude that even after the legislature's amendments of 1976, the Board of Governors and the Alaska Supreme Court properly continue to certify and admit applicants to the practice of law. Crane is charged with driving while under the influence and refusing to take a breath test. Okay, we're going to skip that. This is where it gets good at. Now he's talking to the court. The court is a fiction, by the way. The court, notice the judge's name. It doesn't say the judge's name. He's talking to the court, which is a fiction. But anyway, would you define for us in 25 words or less what assistance of counsel is if it's not a lawyer? Crane, to be truthful with you, I don't know what the law is on this point, and I don't know what the definition of assistance of counsel is. That's why I need the assistance of counsel. This guy's good, y'all. I wish I knew who this was. Hearing this, Judge Estelle tried to assure Crane that counsel meant the same thing as a lawyer. The court, a lawyer is someone that is licensed to practice law in the state of Alaska. Someone who has been to college, law school, and has passed the bar exam, that's a lawyer. That's the assistance of counsel. So do you intend to hire a lawyer? This judge is lying, by the way. But he's giving I'm guessing that's a woman. She's giving the definition under some statute within that state of what an attorney or a lawyer is, in my opinion. Crane. No.
In my opinion, she's actually gone by presumptions, which needs to be rebutted.
No, I'm trying to find assistance of counsel who will assist me here, not represent me. That's pretty good right there. I'm no indigent, and I do not want anybody to appoint me a lawyer, but I want assistance of counsel to assist me, and that's it. I'm not no more debate. The court, but assistance of counsel means lawyer. Crane, I have it right here. Assistance of counsel under the 6th Amendment. It does not say attorney. Now let me stop right there. The people who, I'm not sure who drafted the Constitution, but they had to be.
Sorry about pausing that, right? But look at the 3 different words, right? Lawyer, all right? Attorney, counsel. Oh, you can't make this shit up, people.
They had to be counsels or law, whatever you want to call it. They had to have some type of sense to know what they would.
And again, where it says right here, right? Attorney or lawyer. So there's even 2 different distinctions between attorney or lawyer. Never mind about counsel. There's 2 different distinctions.
And they did not use that word, and I'm convinced that they didn't use that word on purpose. Back to what I was talking about. No more debate. I do not wish to discuss this here, sir. This is the book I'm reading, and it says that I have a right under the 6th Amendment to assistance of counsel, and it does not say attorney or lawyer. After Judge Estelle heard the explanation of Crane's position, he told Crane, so that's a guy, the court, you can hire a lawyer or not hire a lawyer, but you need to be on notice that assistance of counsel in this state of Alaska means somebody who is licensed to practice law. That's what assistance of counsel mean in this state. Excuse me. You seek to draw a distinction between assistance of counsel and a lawyer and an attorney or a counselor at law or whatever else you want to call a lawyer. But it makes no difference legally. Assistance of counsel, counselor at law, attorney at law, lawyer, they're all the same thing. So you can represent yourself or you can hire somebody to represent you. But if you do not hire a lawyer, you're going to be representing yourself, and you'll be held to the same rules in presenting your case as a lawyer, as lawyers are. Crane now seeks appellate review of Judge Estelle ruling. He renews his argument that attorneys are not counsel for the purpose of the right to the assistance of counsel under the 6th Amendment to the United States Constitution. In addition, Crane argues in the alternative that even if properly admitted, attorney would not qualify as counsel for these purposes. There have been no properly admitted attorneys in Alaska for the past 30 years because in 1976, the Alaska legislature withdrew the Alaska Bar Association and the Alaska Supreme Court's right to certify and admit applicants to practice law.
We're going to pause right there and jump to another one because I spent too much time during the beginning. But really, you sit and think about this, right? Before roughly around 1850, there was no licensed attorney, right? And New Mexico was actually the last state that actually gone ahead and accepted a licensed attorneys, okay? But the bar is a corporation. It's a union that I believe, because it's not within the guidelines of the Constitution. Constitution has guidelines of counsel. And the legislature has zero authority to actually go ahead and have these bars take over our judicial system. So when you really sit and think about this, before the 1850s, give or take, There was no licensed attorneys. They were all counsels. All right. Let me end it right here, right now, and proceed on the next one. These are We the People News. Bye, y'all.